All right, then since we successfully finished this project, now it's time to deploy this project and bring it live. All right, so let's open up your browser and search for Netlify. Okay, so Netlify is the computer application company where you can deploy your web projects like React and Next.js and basic HTML projects and everything. You can deploy it over here, okay, for free. So I'm gonna log in with my specific account. Okay, so either you can use your GitHub account which you have created. So I'm gonna use it my GitHub account. Okay, so the easiest way to deploy this is it's to connect your GitHub account, and you can directly whenever you're updating your GitHub account, it will be directly updated from the through your GitHub itself. All right, so what we are going to do now is first we are going to push this project to your GitHub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a GitHub repository. So github.com, I'm going to create a new repository, create new repository. And here I'm going to say HTML tutorial course. And I'm going to make myself this account as a private. So click create. So if you're keeping it as a private, no one can access your source code or anything. So this is the Git. So I'm going to copy this Git and get back to your source control. Click this and initialize your repository. So if you initialize your repository, these are the files that we have to push to our local Git. So if you're doing it for very first time, it will ask you to log in for 1 or 2 times. Please stay calm and log in yourself and authenticate yourself with your GitHub account to connect yourself, your Visual Studio Code to authorize your GitHub account, right? So do that. And now I'm going to say changes, project done. That's the message I'm going to give it. So I have to commit it in the local, right? So now all the changes it's been committed. Now click this 3 dots over here. Now I need to connect my remote to push this project. Before pushing this project, first I need to connect this remote repository with my Visual Studio Code. So click the remote, add remote, and click add remote from GitHub. If you choose this option for the first time, it will ask you to authenticate one more time. So go ahead and authenticate it. And now I can choose HTML tutorial course over here. So choose that and give yourself a local name. I'm going to use the same name. Enter. So now git credentials. Okay, it's asking me to grid credentials. So I'm going to use the credential because it's been, I think it's reset. So what I'm going to do is allow, always allow. Okay, so to allow this, enter the login keychain. Okay, so it's asking my user queue. I'm sorry, I thought it's asking my GitHub account. So now the remote is being successfully added. Now all I have to do is to click this pull or push option, click this push to option. If you click this push to, it will ask you to select the repository, and before pushing it, make sure on what branches that you are pushing. Currently by default it is the main branch, because when we are working with a very big project, we used to create a sub branches like home page, about us page. So for each and every work, we used to create a separate branches so that we know where the issue is being created, on which date and which push we figured out that issues and all those things. So I'm going to choose the default branch itself, and if I choose this, now it's loading. It's loading. All right, now it's successfully pushed. Now if I click this one more time, and you can see all my files over here. Inside the public folder, I have the complete thing which is necessary. Now let's get back to the Netlify over here. So click add new site, import an existing project. So click this. I'm gonna deploy with GitHub. Click this. So it's going to ask me to authorize my Netlify account with my GitHub. So I'm gonna authorize it. It's saying it is authorized. And now I can see all my repositories over here. So here search for HTML tutorial So it's going to bring your repository over here. There we go. This is the private repository which we created just now. Click this, and you have, for the very first time, you need to create your own organization, which I already created. And this is going to be sample JS actions or something like that. So click here to check the availability. So site name is available, and branch name to deploy. We pushed the data into our main branch, so I'm going to use the main branch itself. So the directory where the Netlify install dependency and run your build command. So far, we don't have to worry about it. And examples, what is the public directory? Give the public directory over here, right? Because this is our public directory. So if you wish to add any environment variables, you can add it. In this case, no environment variables, just deploy sample JS action. So now it's deploying it. All right. So site is deploying in progress. So we have to wait until the deploy progress is successful. So let's wait until it gets successful. All right. Still it's processing. Okay, so it's showing us it's finally published. Let's click this link, and that will take you to this web page. So please make sure that you provided that public link properly, that folder name properly. That's the reason we created this server folder. So if you haven't configured it properly, this will entirely mess down, right? So we have successfully deployed the project through the GitHub. Now the beauty of this is every single time whenever you are updating your GitHub account with your updated source code, this Netlify will automatically pull the code from that GitHub account, and it will load the code from the GitHub account directly. That's the beauty of deploying it with the GitHub. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session. So if you're having any questions or anything, just leave it below there. All right, so in this course we completely discussed about how to wireframe it, how to use the CSS to styling it, and how to perform some DOM manipulations, and how to perform some JS actions. And finally we pushed our entire code to the GitHub, and we pushed the entire project in the Netlify, so where we deployed our projects. All right, so, and that's it for the session.